Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 from Monday, June 20th, 2022. The markets on Friday did actually move down, created a new low early here in the S&P at 36, I believe that low is, or 39, 36.39, and then did proceed to bounce and then stayed higher for the balance of Friday, and then also during the Globex session that began yesterday and ran into this morning. And now as we continue again in Globex, we're just basically hanging out right where the market closed at 37.17, right now trading at 15. So let's take a peek. I have now included the labeling. So at that low on Friday is where I believe that sub-minute wave 5 completed, that completed 5 down, and the minute 3. So that puts us in a minute 4th wave. Now that would be via the daily chart. I just want to add one thing that's of importance here on the weekly chart. As you can see, last week, the market did again at 36.39. So I went down, but it broke and closed below the weekly 200 moving average. And that at the moment is sitting at 37.32. So that close produced a negative or a weaker market picture on the basis the weekly chart. So based on that, I would be continuing to look for additional weakness in the S&P over this coming week. Yet to be seen, but moving on with the count. So back down to that daily, we can see that I have placed the 3. Now we're in a 4. What I'm going to break it down to the hourly so that we can see more cleanly the Fibonacci retracements that I put in to measure out what a 4th wave on a minute level, what that 4th wave is going to look like, or what its potential is, let's say. So here we have basically the low from Friday, and then we likely have done an A and a B. So A of this 4, B of the 4, and now we're in the C wave. But again, it's coming in pretty weak. So I'm kind of looking for the market to kind of pick up some steam here and push, because the minimal, I shouldn't say minimal, because it can be very weak and that could be the minimal. But the normal for a 4th wave on a Fibonacci retracement level would be about the 382, 38%. That's at 38.40. But I'm kind of looking that it should pick up enough steam to get itself up towards the hourly 200, which is 38.21. Now, what goes against all of this is that weekly chart. That weekly chart continuing to show that there has been and continues to likely be weakness in the market. So we'd be looking for these turns. We'd be looking for another kick-in of a downside move. So after minute 4, we get a minute 5th wave, and that is going to be in the down position. Now, again, I'm using the count as the same, that we're in a minor 5th wave, and the minor 5th wave actually now does project pretty easily down to about 3,500 or lower. So first we have to we finished the 4th wave. If the 4th wave does not even come up to 37.63, then yes, the markets are weak. Yes, the downside will kick in again and get pretty serious. So there's a couple of things going on that kind of come in my mind, is that the buyers that would be buying because they feel the lows, the bottoms are in, they're not there. This is all based on the expiration and coming out of expiration, and probably maybe 1 or 2 additional smaller factors. It's like, as we come into tomorrow, there would be a shift again, 401k money coming in, it's Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I'm not sure how strong that buying is going to be, because I would imagine that with everybody back tomorrow, holidays done, and then we're off again to a fuller picture, a fuller participation here in the US, that we might see the sellers coming in and not waiting for 37.63 or anything higher, that this bounce is just exactly that, a small bounce, and it may come in on the weak side. We have kind of broken above where wave A got up to. Wave A got to that 50. We've now broken above it. In fact, we've gotten up to a nice high, and that was yesterday, or actually during Globex this morning at 37.25. So actually, I'd be looking for 37.25 to be broken, start heading up to 37.63. Ultimately, 38.01 down to where the 200 is, 38.01 or 3800, let's say, to 38.21. That's the zone that I think could complete this fourth, and then again turn the markets lower. What it's got to do to convince people to be stepping back in is anybody's guess. All right, so what are the moving averages telling us? The moving averages are basically telling me the same story. We got a little bit of a more positive picture right there. As you can see, they're clustered. We have the 50, the 20, the 4, and the 8 clustered right there. And that may take a while, because unless we get some movement up or down, they're not going to start to move apart from each other. And that's going to just keep telling us that this is just going to go like this until we get some direction. So looking out for tomorrow, I would think that this small fourth wave continues. If this is completing it, then it's going to slam dunk through these moving averages and begin to just slide lower. It's going to not find any problems slipping back below 36.39. Now, and what that kind of lets me in on is that this buying, again, related more to the expiration, related to how positions are coming out of that expiration and just getting flat or getting neutral, so as they say. And without any strength here, it's going to slide. That would be my take. We slide, and we slide below the moving averages. Then we break pretty easily below 3,700, below 36.61, which again is the low from the Sunday's Globex. And then we break eventually 36.39. Now I am going to remove those, go back out to that daily so that I can put the downside back in place again. And that's going to be extensions. And they're going to go for, because we're looking for a wave 5. So I go from wave 2 to wave 3 up to the top of wave 4. And what we're basically looking at, 100%, look at that, 35.03. So wave 5 would be equal to wave 3 at 35.03. We have that other major support, which is, if I go back out to the weekly very quickly to show you, that is the retracement level for this primary fifth wave. So if we just take from primary 4 up to the top of primary wave 5, what these support levels would represent is any correction that's happening to correct the primary 5. And right now we're going to be labeling it primary wave A because it is a part of a larger correction phase. But that's where that one then comes in. And so again, it is an important level. So what we need to think here is basically what can really come into play. I am expecting more downside. I believe that is what's going to be coming into play, and that it should pick up some steam again. Major support and a major level is going to be that 3,500 level. If that fails, if that level fails, then our next support does not come in for another 100 points plus down below at 33.37. And then you can see it continues to break. Next major level of support, it does kind of cluster up in here, 30.70, et cetera, but it could drop, but that's that's going to be a severe drop. If it gets down there, severe drop. I'm not actually looking at for right now. I actually am believing and thinking that the count is likely going to hold this count, not be dropping into it. This would be a 1 and a 2. And now we're just going into that third wave as a part of an intermediate wave 3, if we're counting this as 1 and 2. So, but I'm not. I really have shifted over to be counting it as intermediate A and B, and we're in the C wave for that first primary wave A. So I'm looking for a little bit of a near-term bottom, but if things continue to deteriorate on the inflation level, if things continue to really start to point that they're going to have to really shift and move interest rates quicker than they thought, higher than they thought, then it's just going to present a very negative picture for us, period. Then, yes, we have much more room to be nosediving down into these levels. Okay, so for tomorrow, I am going to be picking up on the clues, but I am looking for upside. I'm looking for the market to kind of come in and continue to hold higher levels, continue to move higher, getting itself back up towards, remember, 3808, 3800 to 3821. All right, that's going to be it for right now. Our next update will be on Tuesday, the 21st.